Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm still new to this live Facebook option. So I just like to say hello to everyone there. And I'm going to be discussing some Kundalini topics right now. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to ask those questions. So here we go. A lot of people ask me about Kundalini and sleeping and how it will definitely alter your sleep time. Okay, some people won't be able to sleep very much at all, and some people will sleep more than they've ever slept in their life, 14, 15 hours a day. So uh, why don't you come on and ask a question if you have any questions about your Kundalini, how you're sleeping and things of that nature. I'd like to say hello to some of the folks that are joining right now: Tumor and Arpen, Olivia, David, Emma. Hi, Emma. And Viva Equilibrio. Hello. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I saw a couple of the little hearts floating up there, so thank you for adding those into the conversation. So here we go. Your sleep periods will be changed. Okay, your sleep time will be changed. How many hours of sleep that you receive each night will go through an alteration. Okay, and nothing is wrong. You don't need to take sleep medication. David, he says, "How are your nights?" And my nights are fine. My nights, I sleep very well. Typically, I'll sleep anywhere from 3 to 7 hours. I can force myself to sleep longer if, like, say, I want to go back into a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience, if I have that type of an issue going on. Lately, though, I haven't had any of those issues going on. So my nights are good. My nights are good. They're a little challenged right now because I have to walk 4 miles typically at night. So like last night, I was walking Ishta, the Alaskan Husky, 2 miles or so at midnight. Sorry for shaking the camera like that. Just had something crawl up my leg. Oh well, hopefully it's not toxic. Anyway, so yeah, my nights are fine. And I hope yours, David, I hope yours are fine as well. And I'm looking for any questions, and I don't see any questions so far, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue. The Kundalini will use this time to basically begin to insert itself into your body and into your consciousness, into your mind, into your spirit, and into every crack and crevice of your personality. And it does this much of the time through sleep. Sleep is when the ego is not resisting. The ego doesn't resist during sleep time, and so sleep time is when a lot of the change can be accomplished. And so I want you to welcome that. I want to suggest that you welcome that you realize that nothing is wrong, that the Kundalini is making changes. Now, if she's limiting your sleep, this is where a lot of the people develop a problem, is where the sleep is being limited, and they're not used to not having 8 hours of sleep, and they got to get up, they got to go to work, they got to, put food on the table for the kids, and everybody's got to make these adjustments, and it's going to affect their mood. How is the mood now that you have a shortened sleep time? Every now and again you're going to see the lights flicker, and that's when the refrigerator goes on here in the Spartan. I'm in a Spartan, a 1957 Spartan travel trailer called a Royal Mansion, I believe, and I like it because it's a good place to do the videos. It's kind of quiet, and I can just kind of be alone. It's like my Kundalini studio, so to speak. So this is what I'm using it for anyway. And this is where we are right now. And so, yeah, how do you adjust? How do you adjust with these limited sleep periods where you're only getting like 2 to 3 hours, if that, a night? Well, first of all, you're going to have a conversation with the Kundalini and say, hey, my Kundalini, please, can I have more sleep? And often that won't be the case. And so you're going to need to ask the Kundalini to give you the energy for the clarity of mind, for the strength, for the patience that you need to have in order to complete this level of the transformation. Okay, this is important for you to do. You've got to begin to have that one-on-one conversation with your Kundalini. And it may seem like you're talking to the air. That's okay. Just don't do it in front of other people. And you don't have to do it out loud either. You know, you could be sitting on the train going to work, or the bus going to work, or however you get to work. You can be sitting there and kind of going, hey, Kundalini, I need some strength. I got a business meeting today. I need some strength. Please give me your strength. Lend me that strength so that I may be successful in this business venture. Okay, so it's important for people to know that Kundalini is conversant with you. It talks with you. It knows you, knows how that part of the transformation is affecting you, and you know, it's important. It's important for people to understand. And then, you know, if you're not able to have that communication, typically if you have that communication, you're going to get results. Typically, I'm not going to say all the time, absolutely, but typically, you're going to get some sort of a response that will allow you to understand what is going on, why it's happening, and how long it will be happening, and how you're to be able to function within that transformation. And so definitely set up a conversation with your Kundalini, and remember that this will not typically happen. You won't get a response in words, okay? You won't get a response in words, and you shouldn't get a response in words. Really, I mean, this kind of dovetails with my last blog talk that blog talk just finished for me. I don't know why the microphone turned off, but it turned off. And I'm kind of thankful, because I wasn't able to control the chat room very well. We had some guy on there doing some unfortunate things. But anyway, you've got to be able to establish a conversation with your Kundalini without using words, using thoughts and feelings. Now, we're used to sub-vocalizing our thoughts, and that's okay. You can sub-vocalize your thoughts, but Kundalini typically won't. I won't be absolutist and say never, never, but typically it will not. Entities will, however. So if you're talking to your Kundalini and you're saying, oh, this, I need my sleep and this type of a thing, that's good. But if you're hearing an answer back saying, well, okay, I want you to set your alarm at such and such a time, I want you to drink this before you go to bed, if you get those kinds of words, then there's a problem. Excuse me a moment. It's a little dusty in here. Okay, probably going to happen again. I get them in twos, like most people. Anyway, so don't let anybody talk to you with words telepathically. That's just an entity coming in and trying to be disruptive, trying to corrupt your equation, whatever it may be. Kundalini will typically give you the feeling, give you the thought, give you the picture, visit you in your dream life, visit you in your waking life in a vision, and help you to understand what is occurring. So don't panic. Don't be afraid. This is a new world that you're stepping into, that has stepped into you. This is a new world, a new environment, and there are different rules than the rules that you adhere to in the physical environment, in the waking environment. Okay. So as you go through a Kundalini awakening and activation, you kind of need to adjust your thinking about how this is going to affect your life. Taking away your sleep is a very, very, very effective way of Kundalini showing you how it can insert itself into your life. And what is the best response? Well, the best response really is going to be surrender. Complete and total surrender to the Kundalini, not to words that are being given to you telepathically. Up here, right about here, are transmedium centers, okay? Channels, so to speak. Transmedium channels. You got to figure out. There we go. Okay, so right there, right on the outside of the fontanelle. And this is where you'll have a lot of discarnate plugins occurring. And I'm being kind of compelled to ask you if the sound is coming through okay here. Yeah, give me some hearts if you can hear what I'm saying. This way I won't have to, start all over again. Okay, so right there, the transmediumship channels. Got to get that right. Wrong hand. Okay, right there. Thank you. Okay, the sound's coming through. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. So, this is where you'll get telepathic communication. Okay, they send a plug right in there, boom, 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 all the way back. And they try to needle you, or they try to. You can actually feel that plug in too. You'll feel it on top of your head. It'll feel like a soft, feathery choom, choom. Okay, so this is them either collecting information, which it is for the most part, or wanting to give you information in some way. And so be aware of that. Be aware of that. Kunalini is certainly aware of that. Kunalini is aware that you have that occurring with you, and she's watching your response. Trust the Kundalini only. Trust the Kundalini only. Okay. You may hear me say that over and over and over in the ensuing Saturdays. Oh, by the way, so no more Blog Talk Radio. I've had it with that. I loved it for the last 7 years, but oh my God, the technical difficulties that are going on right now with that, I just can't absorb. It's getting in the way of the information getting out. This information is the most important thing to get out. So we'll be uploading these to YouTube, and so please go to YouTube and watch this. And David, who has just joined, David will go ahead and post the YouTube channel. I can't remember what the channel's called right now. Divine Kundalini, I believe, something like that. So David, if you could please post that channel there in the comments section. And this is David Sulabaridze, and you can reach him. He's one of the moderators on the Kundalini Awakening exclamation point group. So, all right. So, as you're having your sleep robbed or taken away from you, some of you who aren't working or who are in a position where they can experience this may go through a period of sleep deprivation that can last for days. And this will put you into an altered state. And it's during this altered state that you will have a level of experience with your Kundalini that can be very profound. So there is goodness behind the sleep deprivation. And I know it interrupts the egotistical awake, I got to go to work, I got to drive my car, I know it interrupts that. I know it does. And I also want you to know that you can trust the timing with this. Just because it interrupts everything that your ego has organized in a very particular way doesn't mean that the Kundalini coming in and reorganizing this is going to be damaging to you. you've got to trust the Kundalini. I want to say hello to Andani. Hello, Andani, and Clife, and Mohammed Qadir. Hello, everybody. Scroll that on down. Wow, look at that. Okay, Bill Horton. Hello. That's a blast from the past. Hi, Bill. And Greta and Sudan and Inessa, Maricha. Hello, everyone. So as the sleep deprivation takes effect and you go into this altered state, trust what is occurring. Trust it. You're going to have to learn how to trust the Kundalini. Trust it with your life, because it is controlling your life to a large degree. It will help you make positive choices, but it will also help you make some pretty strong mistakes so that you will learn from those mistakes, from the blowback that occurs. I've done this many times. Okay. Don't listen to a Kundalini teacher that has said, "Oh, I've never made any mistakes." Oh my God. You've got to realize that even to be able to receive this kind of information and give it to others, you've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Okay, and I know I have. But also you have to forgive yourself for making those mistakes, because they were necessary for you to learn, so that people can realize that they too can make a mistake and learn from it, and it will come out to be a positive learning experience. And so you've got to do that. You've got to self-forgive. So as you're in this sleep depth state, I'll get back to that, sleep depth state, and you're kind of sleepwalking through your day, open yourself up to a greater level of surrender to your grace, to your Kundalini. To your Kundalini. Not my Kundalini, although people have done that and it's been fine, but mostly to your own Kundalini. Where's that camera at? Right there. You! Your Kundalini. That's the most important one to give yourself to. Chrism Kundalini can just assist. And sometimes you need assistance, but it's your Kundalini that's the most important. Now, if you've already got like a degree of entity infection occurring, then you can go to a teacher and you can say, hey, I need help with this. And then it'll be Chrism's Kundalini that will help you with that. Okay. But it will never stay. My Kundalini will not stay with you unless there's some sort of a prearranged agreement to have it stay with you because of a certain medical condition or a certain psychological condition or a certain emotional, whatever the condition is. If the Kundalini agrees to have that there with you all the time, then what you'll get is a permanent scatter field, which is what my Kundalini uses to assist other people on a more permanent basis. It's not easy. This is the whole Kundalini thing is not an easy deal, and sometimes people need more help than others, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay, it's just like you help a person in the soup kitchen, or you help a person crossing the street, or you decide to say, well, hey, I am here at this intersection every day at 9 o'clock. Well, I can be here at 9:30 or 9 or actually at 8:45 or 8:30, and I can help this lady across the street every single day. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? So I try to be available to give people help every single day as well. And I think that through these videos and through the interaction that we can have on Facebook and other groups, Yahoo group, Facebook group, different groups all over the place. I can't even keep track of them all. I know I got a bunch on Facebook. So always try to keep yourself available for assisting others. So as you're having the sleep deprivation and this, you're basically loosening the bonds of your physical reality with that. Okay, you're loosening the bonds of your physical reality, and you're merging into a daytime awake state of an altered reality. And she, Sacred Mother, is the one that is arranging this. Okay, and you just need to give yourself to that. Surrender the control that you want to have, and let this occur, because very, very, very important teachings can be given to you, like in a download type of scenario, or in a beyond telepathy type of situation, or maybe even actual telepathy. If you can get she may give you a verification that this is indeed her. So, for instance, as I did an ayahuasca experiment. I've had Kundalini before ayahuasca. I didn't use any kind of a drug to get it. But I did some experiments with the ayahuasca down in Peru and in Oregon. And right after the last one that I had, the Oregon experience, I was camping out, and I was in the tent, and I just finished the Sunday experience, the last one. And I was just kind of relaxing there. And, the ayahuasca wears off after like a certain amount of time. And I did a light dose on that Sunday. I did like maybe half the dose that you would normally take. And so I was recovering, and I was just kind of like laying down in the tent, and the sun's going down, and a little spider just kind of showed up in my inner vision, not in the tent itself, but in my inner vision. A spider showed up and just kind of like slowly just like slid out on a web right there, stopped right in front of me. And I looked at it, and it was kind of like a gray brown, not a large spider, just a very innocuous looking spider. It had a little yellow fringe, around. And in my head, I heard the words, "Hello." That's what I heard. Spoken English. So I immediately thought, oh, here's an entity. Oh, great. Here we go. But it didn't try to say, and it didn't say anything else. It just said hello. And for a while, I'd been associating with a person that had a lot of information from the sacred spider. And so I think that was a kind of a bleed through with that information from that person. And so I didn't get anything else from it, but that was it, and that's not a bad thing. Just seeing that for a person that's not used to seeing that can be a very, very valuable teaching within the Kundalini. Okay. A very valuable teaching within the Kundalini. So as I was saying on the Blog Talk Radio show, do not allow entities to talk with you. Do not give them that attention. Do not give them that energy. Do not allow that. And if it's happening to you regardless, well, then just ignore it. Don't give them your attention. That is what they want, is your attention. Once they have your attention, then they can begin to manipulate you this way or that way. So be very careful with that. And especially during the sleep dep phase, as you're going through sleep deprivation, Kundalini-induced sleep deprivation, well, then you want to be on the lookout for any kind of discarnate interference that may come. There's another aspect to this too, and it's the lack of energy. You can experience this extreme lack of energy to the point where they an extreme lack of energy. I forget what the term is at the moment right now, but it is so strong that you can just barely get yourself off the couch. And this is also Kundalini induced. And she is also using this energy as a way to teach you about energy, number one, and a way to teach you about her control of your energy. This is for people that are not surrendering very well. They have to be taught how the Kundalini intrinsically is in charge of the energies that they used to be in charge of. The ego used to have in charge of that. And it's important for you to realize that this type of energetic expression is in control of the Kundalini, but it's also a teaching for you to purify. I'm getting this right now. She's giving me a direct feed right now about this. Are you drinking a lot of caffeine? Are you masturbating a lot? What are you doing to diminish the energetic expression within you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Is it a habit? This is what leads to chronic fatigue. That's the expression I was trying to remember earlier. Chronic fatigue can be a Kundalini teaching for you to stop using substances such as caffeine, such as these energy drinks, which have copious amounts of caffeine in it, but other things too, like Monster drinks, or they call it Monster, right? Or the Red Bull, or some of these other energy drinks that artificially stimulate the adrenal glands. Stop using these. Stop using them. Stop drinking your black tea. Stop drinking your coffee. Stop drinking these things, and you will begin a form of resuscitation for the adrenal glands, which is what the Kundalini wants to hyperstimulate. But if you've already been abusing these glands your whole life, or a good chunk of your life, the Kundalini requires a downtime for the adrenals so that they can heal themselves from being overused by virtue of the adrenals. You overusing the adrenals for entertainment reasons, habits, whatever it may be. Chronic fatigue is a signal for that downtime for your adrenals. So the problem is that as soon as you start feeling chronic fatigue, well, you're going to start going for the caffeine. That's the first thing you're going to go to, is for the caffeine. Well, I got to get awake. This, I've been doing this for 20 years. This is how I get. This is my morning routine. Change it. Just like many of the other behaviors and activities that you'll need to change for the Kundalini, let that be one of the first ones you change. Seriously. The chronic fatigue is not going to get better if you overuse the organs that are causing the chronic fatigue in the first place. It's called adrenal burnout. And you can get a blood test, and it'll say, oh yeah, your adrenaline level is normal in your blood. You can get all these things, but it's the Kundalini that is causing this. And we don't have the Kundaliniometer that we need to assess where the Kundalini is applying energy, where the Kundalini is changing the agenda for the individual. Okay. Michael O'Day wants to know when my birthday is. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And those of you who know, don't tell him. Because he's going to make an astrological assessment that is based upon, his own interpretation of astrological results. So no. Although I will say that my mother said that I was the easiest baby to give birth to out of the 4 that she gave birth to. She said, I had an agenda. It was not a problem. It's like, he's out, he's there. Boom. Blessings to you, dear mother. She's she can watch this. She'll hear these things. I'll post it on my page, and she usually reads it. So, hi, Mom. Hi, Tom, her wonderful husband. Both of them are great. So Eamon has told me that it's the Kundalini Divine is the YouTube page for this, to find these videos. So if you want to watch it again, or you want to rewind it, and, listen to me, not remember a concept or something, go ahead. Go to Kundalini Divine on YouTube. And thank you, Ivan, for pushing that into. Now, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna scroll up here a little bit if I can. And oh, hello, Noel or Nicole Goikin. Hello. Okay, here we go. When does the sleep depth phase typically come? Olivia, it will come at the behest of your Kundalini. It's not going to be a set time. Like my sleep depth phase won't correspond to a certain amount of having, time having Kundalini. It's really dependent on where you are with it and where your level of surrender is. Okay. I heard something. Let's see. Scott Turner says, a couple of times during meditation, I've come across vampiric energy. Starts like memories of a film and then explodes into fanged nightmare in my face. Yeah. Well, that's why I tell people not to go to these scary movies, right? Because entities hang out at these scary movies, and they hang out in the, boy, if you could see what's in a theater. Oh, gee. If you could see the spiritually, what is hanging out in a theater, what is hanging out in a seat that you're sitting in a theater. Think about that. The people that just left, especially after a horror movie. Hello. It's like walking through the mall. Everybody gets to go to the mall, and everything gets to go to the mall too. The same thing with the movie theaters. So yeah, Scott, you can run across that, but I know that you have enough control to help that entity away. Okay, so I think you're doing pretty well, all things said and told. And Naomi is saying, I've just been diagnosed with a tumor in the adrenal glands. And, there you go. There you have it. A person can have a tumor in the adrenal glands as well. And do you have them remove it? Do you leave it? What do you do? Well, I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't say one way or the other. But you can ask your Kundalini what it wants you to do. And the Kundalini itself will tell you by a feeling, by an intuition, take this off or let it remain. Okay, it's the same thing with tumors on your pineal gland. You can get a tumor on your pineal gland, and things can get really interesting for a person that has that. Okay, and blessings to you, Bridget and Robert as well. Okay, and Ha'ak, I don't know that language, so I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. Yeah, Kundalini Divine. Okay, so if you do have any other questions, I'm going to try to get to them right now. Ajay wants to know, how can we heal ourselves to open energy centers? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to want to heal yourself. And one of the best ways to understand that is to basically look at your behaviors and look at the noble behaviors versus the behaviors that are not noble. How much love are you giving to other people? How much love do you have for yourself? How much do you allow yourself to be programmed by the negatives in society? I don't care what society it is. It can be Indian society, it can be Western society, Eastern society, whatever the society is. How much do you allow yourself to be programmed by the negatives, by the jealousies? Okay, how jealous are you in society? And why are you jealous? And what levels of fear do you allow yourself to partake of? So really it is in the levels of behaviorism that can really begin to heal aspects that are within the energy centers. Now, the energy centers themselves are not damaged. Energy centers are energy centers, and they run the energy. They run the energy, and that's fine. If you allow yourself to be co-opted by entities such as being a medium or a channeler or Reiki person or something like that, then, you know, you can have entities carve places within your energetic anatomy. And that's not good. That can definitely begin a level of ruination for energetic centers. So take responsibility for your own energy, number one. Do not reach outside of yourself into the spiritual realm for energetic assistance. You have Kundalini. Kundalini is the one you should be reaching for, because that is within you. That belongs to you. That is part of the God process within you, the divine process within you. Okay. Reach for that and ask the Kundalini to help you modify your behaviors. And as you modify your behaviors, you will typically bring stronger levels of love and self-correction into those energetic centers, which will begin to distance any kind of an entity involvement or an addiction to fear, or addiction to anger, or addiction to any of the major egotistical properties that different societies will induce within the individual. That's what you got to do first. And Kundalini Divine is the YouTube channel name. Not looking at, let's see. So not too many other questions here. What about sugar? Ah, Susie Snedden. Good to see you, my dear. Sugar. That, boy, you know, that's a real complex question, and I am going to go ahead and tackle that right now. White processed sugars need to be avoided, number one. Okay. CNH, the white powdered sugar, the white processed sugar, heavily processed sugar needs to be avoided. High fructose corn syrups need to be avoided. Okay. Number one and two. However, a lot of you are going to jump at this. So I'm going to prepare myself here to be attacked. I wish I could get a Kleenex. I didn't bring a Kleenex. Oh, well, okay. So if it gets really bad, my apologies. Honey is the best sugar to have. Okay, honey is the best. Kundalini will force you to eat sugar. You'll be eating sugar like you wouldn't believe. She will force you to eat chocolate sometimes, too. Sometimes she'll definitely increase your sugar intake. And I'm just saying sometimes. It's not all the time. Like some of you are just going to want this, like, oh my God, he's giving me permission to eat all this crap. Sugar food. You look at a butterfly, you look at a bee, you look at a wasp. And I'm not talking about all the carnivorous wasps, but I'm talking about the paper wasp in particular. The ones that have a really nasty sting, but that are so amazingly intelligent. They live off of sugar. Hummingbirds live off of the nectar of flowers, which is a form of sugar. Honeybees turn it into honey. Okay. Sugar does play a role in your Kundalini awakening. You just need to get a source of really good, nutritious sugar. And honey is the best. Which means that you must do what you can do to protect the honeybees. Don't use anything from Monsanto, ever. Ever. Don't use any Bayer products who own Monsanto right now. Okay, so there you have that. You will be compelled to have sugar. You just will be. And it's not all the time, and it's not a permanent fixture of the diet, but it is there. And for my private students, you know, I tell them, I say, hey, you know, you got to eat the sugar sometimes. So they have their own favorite type of sugar that they like to partake of, and we try to make it as nutritious as possible. I'm being shown right now in my mind, my Kundalini is showing me a picture of a of a chocolate bean. The bean from South America and Central America that they make chocolate from. And chocolate nibs, I guess you can find them in the health food store. N-I-B-S, N as in Nancy, I as in iPad, B as in Bob, S as in Sam. Chocolate nibs are one good source. And I know they have a degree of caffeine in it, and that you're just going to have to deal with that. They don't make decaffeinated chocolate nibs. These are the beans. These are the parts of the bean. I actually like the chocolate bean itself. It is an artwork. It is such a gorgeous looking bean. It is so pretty. I just wish I hadn't eaten them all. I got to find another source for them. Beautiful, 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 beautiful artwork on that bean. Anyway, and this is the bean that the Mayans and the Aztecs used to use for currency in their society. Very healthy bean. If you can get it, get it. And if it's a little pricey, pay it. Okay. This is a helpful bean. It has a degree of sugar in it as well, but more along the lines of honey, Susie. And for you, definitely honey. Honeycomb is good if you chew it like a gum. You're going to have to partake of the sugar. And I'm looking at the new comments here. Oh, okay, yeah. Ivy's saying she uses the honey now, and honey really is the way to go. And yes, Ivy is asking, does she ever make one starve? Absolutely, she will make you fast. I'm not sure starve is quite the right word, but she'll definitely put you on a fast, a week fast, a 10-day fast, a 3-day fast. If you can arrange to fast one day a week, that would be the most beneficial for you. Okay. Yeah, fasting one day a week would be the best. Also, getting back to the sugar. Vegetables have sugar. Carrot juice has a lot of sugar in it. Corn on the cob has a lot of sugar in it. These two juices right there, carrot juice is amazingly healthy for so many aspects of the Kundalini. If you can get the fresh pressed carrot juice, get it. If you can get a bunch of carrots yourself and grind them up in a blender and then eat the whole thing, pulp included, very, very good. And it has a lot of sugar in it too. Some of the sugar you want to avoid, like I said, the high fructose corn syrup, really nasty stuff. Avoid that. It seems that the federal government in the United States, and therefore federal governments in other countries, are pushing a diabetes type of mentality upon people. So no Coca-Cola, although sometimes the Kundalini will make you have that. I know it's contradicting itself in some ways, but these are very rare instances. Okay. Stay away for the most part from your sodas, from your, I guess they call it pop in some parts of the country. Soda pop, carbonated sugar beverages. Do your best to stay away from them. I don't care what kind of a lift they give you. It's a direct attack upon your pancreas. A direct attack upon your pancreas and upon the adrenals as well. So stay away from that if you can possibly stay away from it. And yes, fast, Ivy. She'll make you fast, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Just don't take the advice of an entity and, get into anorexia or bulimia or anything like that. She will not promote that. Okay? Looking at Sushita Karana. Pardon me for destroying your name there. It looks like it could be a beautiful name. Sucheta Karana. Why Kundalini lessons are always hard? They're really not. It's getting over your ego that is the difficult part. Okay. Your ego makes things hard because you have expectations. And Kundalini goes right around those expectations and begins to take them away from you. I mean, you can expect things to be easy, but it won't be. That's what I mean. Kundalini is taking the ego out of control. And for most people, that's a difficult thing. Okay, so going on with the questions here. Yes, Sherry loves the chocolate. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Arvind Kumar is asking about pepper. Now, hot spices, like really hot chili pepper or, the hot spices that a lot of the Indian people love to partake of, absolutely not. Black pepper, on the other hand, is not only allowed, it's encouraged. It's good for the heart. Black pepper is the only pepper that the Kundalini will suggest for you to have. These other really hot capsicum-based, pardon me for shaking the camera, capsicum-based peppers, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. But black pepper you can have. And salt you can avoid. And if you have to have salt, let it be sea salt and not in copious amounts. Kundalini already raises your blood pressure. When you have Kundalini, you're going to go to some of the extremes with your cardiovascular system. One extreme will be extremely low blood pressure, low heart rate. They're going to wonder, how can you even stand up? To the other end of the spectrum, which will be extremely high blood pressure, high heart rate. Okay. So you don't need to artificially inflate that blood pressure. You want to keep your food intake somewhat bland. Somewhat bland. She'll let you have sugar, as I mentioned, clean sugar, organic sugar, honey-based sugar, or she'll kind of direct you what is appropriate and what isn't for your system. But you want to be very, very, very clean with it. Be as clean as you can possibly be with your food. Raw is the best. I eat a lot of raw food myself. I just do. Like the carrot juice is really good for that. But your salads are really, your broad leaf, green leaf vegetables like spinach or kale, very, very good for you. And you must eat them. But here's the kicker. Eat it without the salad dressing. Okay. Cut a lemon and put some lemon juice on there. Or even an orange, and squeeze an orange over it if you want. Add some black pepper to it if you want. Okay. Garlic, no. Onions, no. I know. I'm stepping on toes here. I know. I should probably do a whole video just on the dietary requirements of Kundalini. I could. Seriously. Put your seatbelts on for that one though. Okay, and let's see. Got some more questions here. What about sporting activity? Professional sports. Sports are great. Watch your addiction to competition, however. If you're one of those guys, you see some of these tennis players, they miss a shot and they're cussing and they're like dancing around. Oh, wait, guys. It's like, oh, geez, they're throwing their racket on the ground, breaking their racket. Golfers are the same way, it's like, oh, please. Please get a hold of that ego. Okay? Be able to lose with as much dignity as you win. Seriously. Balance that out. As far as sporting activities go, be gracious. Be gracious in all ways. Work yourself hard, though. Don't just roll over. Make it count. Play your utmost. Don't cheat. Remember the noble behaviors. But play your game. Play your game. Play it well. And don't be overly egotistic about your prowess with it or somebody else's prowess with it. Don't be a victim. Oh, he's a better player than I am. Don't do that. Enjoy your sport. Enjoy your sport. Know that you're going to have good days and bad days with it. Okay? Enjoy your sport. Physical exercise is really good. Don't hurt other people. Don't hurt their feelings. Don't hurt their body. Okay, and what are the benefits of 1 day a week fast, Chrism? Self-control. It clears you out a bit. If you can make that a water fast, so much the better. But it is a beneficial thing. Very beneficial, actually. Pick a day and let that be the day, right? Let's see. Is fish better than meat? Fish is meat. I got to tell you. Ask any fish. Fish is meat. So the question really is fish better than red meat or cow meat or deer meat or things of that nature? No, it isn't. It often has a better standing, less fat, that type of thing on it. But don't get farmed fish. Okay. Human egotism has been inserted into that fish, and often genetic products as well. So don't get farmed fish. But if you can, go out and catch your own fish. Try to do it offshore or in a clean lake, and thank the fish for becoming a part of who you are, and for giving them that ultimate gift that you yourself will give to this world after you perish, after you die. You will give your body just the same way that the fish is giving its body to you. You see how that works? Everything eats. Everything. Okay. Fish is good, but poultry is good as well. Red meat can be good as well. Deer meat can be good as well. Okay, it's not all about cows. Grasshoppers are good too, like shrimp. Okay. Start expanding your dietary understandings. Seriously. Turkey is good, but it does have that issue where, if you eat turkey, a big turkey meal, then you go out and do a heavy job of some sort, well, you can give yourself a heart attack. So be advised of that. Pheasant is good. Ringneck pheasant is good. Ptarmigan, quail, dove, these are all good to eat. Okay? Just be thankful and have extreme gratitude for the creature that is giving itself to you and joining you in your body, in your flesh. Thank you, Franco Bagwins. Yeah, it does, and Donnie, it does make you drink a Coke every now and again. And we can have pepper. I went through that. Nicole Gawkin, I believe. I apologize if I mispronounced that, Nicole. I am curious if diseases and illness that many people report occurring after Kundalini awakening are not only because K is working through that particular area of the body and is purifying that area, giving a sort of a healing crisis, as I have seen is called, but is it also because the individuals are not dedicating proper time and awareness to the Kundalini process? I ask because I feel as though I begin having more pains, tension, and even mental and emotional fluctuations if I go too many days without meditation, allowing Kundalini to move freely. Yes, I will agree with this. Many of the diseases that people come up with, first of all, that the MDs diagnose them as having, like chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, or many of the diseases that the medical people cannot deal with. Many of them are due to Kundalini resistance. So, Nicole, you're right on target with that. With Kundalini resistance, you can bring a level of dis-ease upon you by virtue of that resistance. And for you, you want to do the meditation every day. You want to do, I'll suggest the safeties. You want to do the safeties every single day, without fail, to the point where you feel incomplete if you're not doing them. No Kleenex, my apologies. Oh my God, they're going, oh, this guy's a slob. Let's see here. Moving on down to two more questions, I believe. Let's see here. Currently addicted to marijuana. Oh, yeah. Susie. Yeah, you're just opening holes in your energetic expression, in your energetic anatomy. This is how you allow yourself to become infected with entities. You need to stop doing that. Stop it. It is an addiction, and it is using you. Sometimes marijuana can be good because it releases, pent-up energies and issues, and in some cases it's cleansing. But that's only if you're using it once or twice a year. You're losing your energy. You're literally, it's like turning the faucet on and just leaving it on. Okay? And it's only going to feed your anxiety. It's going to it's like putting out the fire with gasoline. Okay? It will feed your anxiety. And I know you'll say, oh, but when I'm high, I feel really relaxed. No, it's a temporary thing. This is something that you need to stop using, and you need to start meditating in order to calm your anxiety. Okay? And you need to start meditating. You need to start fasting. You need to start eating very clean food in order to resolve your digestive issues. Kundalini will bring digestive issues. Lots of different kind, too much gas, or, too much of the, what do they call that? The heartburn. It'll bring you all kinds of digestive issues as it begins to change the energies within the first, second, and third chakras. Those are all going to have effect upon the digestive issues. So you need to stop doing that. That is resisting your Kundalini right there by using that MJ. Okay? That's my suggestion anyway. All right, moving down. Well, I'm going to do it like this, I guess. Let's see. No, fish is good. You can have fish. Nick is asking me, Gadaletta, why not? No fish? No, fish is fine. You can have fish too. You can have fish. All the meats have very specific qualities. One is not better than the other. Okay. Try not to get any kind of factory farmed meat. One meat that I won't suggest is pork. No pork, no bacon. Too close to cannibalism. Okay, so no, I won't suggest that. Meat is good. Fish is good. Just not. Don't let human scientific egos get their hands on the fish that you're consuming. Okay, no genetically modified fish or chicken or cow or anything. Okay, no GMO, and try to get it as organic as you can. Okay, fish is fine. Fish is good. I'm sorry that was confusing to people. Let's see. Should prayer be for the sake of surrendering? As Andani is asking this one. Yes, you can pray for a greater level of self-surrender. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's still going to come from you. See what I'm saying? So she won't necessarily make it easier for you to surrender. What she might do is she might give you a challenge that puts surrender right there in your face. And that will make it a very obvious choice for you. And surrendering that way, you know, answering that prayer, so to speak. And so keep a look, if you're doing that, Andani, keep a lookout for these opportunities that you have to surrender to her, to the grace of the Divine Mother. And see how you do. See how you do. Good luck with that. I think that's a great idea. Okay. You are most welcome, Franco. You're most welcome. Do you meditate, and how often and which way? Which way? When I meditate, and sometimes, yes, I do meditate. When I meditate, I can sit in a chair, or I can sit on the floor. Typically, I'll sit in the chair, and I'll sit towards the edge of the chair. And I'll bring the eyes up and the tongue up behind the upper front teeth, and I'll put my fingers in the Gyan Mudra, and I'll leave them on my knees. And typically I just tune in to the Kundalini, and I just, you know, whatever she wants me to do is what I'll do. I'll do the safeties. Yeah. If you want to know how I, meditate, well, I'll do the safeties. I'll do the 5 Tibetans. I'll do the pranayama. I'll do the meditation. I'll do the devotion. I'll do the forgivenesses and the gratitudes. And I suggest you do that as well. And moving on. Let's see. Armand is asking a question. He says, once, it's going to be a big, long one here. I'm not sure, but I mean, if you're making a comment or is this a question, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so he's making a comment. All right, so that comment will just stand as it is. Okay, all right. Going back to Nicole Gawkins' question about diseases and illnesses that people can bring onto themselves. Irritable bowel syndrome is another one. Fibromyalgia is another one. Different types of hidden pains you can bring about through resistance to the Kundalini. Be careful what you allow your physician to diagnose you with. If you have the Kundalini in the activated or awakened state, if you have that happening, then in many ways, medical diagnoses are not accurate. You got to remember, the 15 minutes that you get to see your physician for is not going to be enough time for them to, number one, want to understand the Kundalini, number two, not want to give you drugs to try to resist symptoms, number three, give you a correct diagnosis of what is causing those symptoms. It's just not going to work. Until medicine begins to expand its egotistic barriers against anything that is not scientific, people will not be given a fair diagnostic experience with medicine when regarding Kundalini, unless your doctor has had it themselves. That's a different deal. We've got a surgeon in Saudi Arabia right now that is on the group, and they're having the Kundalini. They know what it is we're talking about. You see, now that MD you could probably pay attention to. But other MDs, they're just going to slap a pharmaceutical at you and say, cured and released. Make you sign your name, cured and released. So, no, you've got to be very, very clean with how you live your life. With the food you eat, make it pure, simple, and organic, and oftentimes bland. Okay? With your activities, make sure that you include in your activities selfless service for other people, meaning you're not going to get paid. Typically, it's best to have it done with a stranger rather than your family, rather than your workmates. Okay? Strangers are best. Do your practice, your spiritual practice. Do your devotions. I know the people in the West, oh my God, what's devotion? Giving myself to the Kundalini? Oh my God, what do you mean? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Give yourself to your Kundalini. I want to thank everybody for listening to this program here. I'm looking for any other questions people might have. And I want to say thank you for people for joining this conversation, for having this conversation. And I'll be here next week at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. And that was the time that I was having the Blog Talk radio. So once again, I'm not doing the Blog Talk anymore. I'm going to ask the benefactor to cancel that program. This will be going up on YouTube. And David, if this is too long for YouTube, then give it to me and I'll put it up on my channel. I can do much longer videos. So thank you everybody for watching, and be happy to read any questions that you have on the group. Love you all. All gratitude and all thanks to the Kundalini.